Well, today is Monday the 13th, and I didn't think we were going to get any Lord of the Rings cards until tomorrow, the 14th. We will be live for that full reveal that Wizards had scheduled, but they sent some cards to IGN. We got to see the One Ring and Gandalf. Let's take a look at these new cards and see what we think about Lord of the Rings. Little first look, first preview. Let's look at this little sneak peek. The One Ring, 4-mana legendary artifact, indestructible. When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring. You tap it to put a burden counter on it, and you get to then draw a card for each burden counter on it. So, the One Ring. This looks pretty generically powerful in quite a few decks in Commander. Mono red, access to card draw in mono red? Yeah, absolutely. Mono white, life gain, access to card draw in mono white, life gain, repeatable card draw that doesn't care about how burdened you are by the presence of the One Ring. It feels like this card goes directly into those. And this is to speak nothing of modern playability. I mean, Emery sort of looping 2 of these, shouldn't that fog your opponent like forever? Just a perpetual fog. You play the One Ring, they are completely unable to do anything to you until your next turn. You draw a card, you sack it, or you use Emery to play one from your graveyard. You sack the old one, you use the new one, this is on your next turn. You gain protection from everything again. You get to draw another card, and you're just sort of looping these for 1 life. For the 4 mana, you're losing the 1 life. I do like that it enters the battlefield if you cast it, because mercy. Blink decks are already one of my just like most hated archetypes. For some reason, blink decks absolutely trigger me. The One Ring not being blinkable, I am hugely in favor of that. Thank you very much. If you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. I do love that little bit of text on there. It's interesting to me that the One Ring isn't an equipment. I was expecting it to be some sort of equipment that makes a creature very powerful, maybe even unblockable, hexproof, you know, things like this. But it comes at some cost, like the creature gets a -1/-1 counter every turn or whatever. That's just what my speculation was of like an entry-level basic design on the One Ring. This is an interesting take on it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays. I do think this will be strong in Commander. I think the immediate reactions that everybody's giving to the One Ring are low. They're not where they should be. I think that this is a little bit more powerful than people seem to think it is. Now, obviously, black in Commander, blue in Commander doesn't really need a lot of help with card draw. And so maybe this one doesn't go in there. But mono green, mono white, mono red, if you're in need of card draw in those colors, this feels like it could be an excellent inclusion to at least test in there. You know, you can blink it to reset the burden counters if you want to lose less life. You know, so it could play in that respect in blink decks, but you're not going to get the gain protection from everything until your next turn. Another thought that I have about the One Ring is every time a new powerful artifact comes out, it just sort of makes the sideboard of Karn decks better. Like, isn't this just an auto sideboard inclusion in decks that run Karn and can go into their sideboard and pick out that one specific piece of tech? Isn't this just like an oh shit button for any constructed deck that runs Karn and can go into their sideboard and grab one artifact? Rebuilds your hand, gives you that 1 turn of protection from everything. And that's before you get into shenanigans territory. What do you think of the One Ring? Let me know down in the comments. We also got our first look at Gandalf the Grey. A blue, a red, and 3 for a 3/4 avatar wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent, deals 3 damage to each opponent, Copy, target instant or sorcery spell you control. You can choose new targets for the copy. And put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. So, flavorful. Gandalf comes in, does a little bit of wizardry mischief, and then bails. He's like, I'm out of here. Catch y'all. I like that aspect of it. In general, this seems a little lackluster to me. I mean, Gandalf is the most popular wizard in all of fantasy. Is that right? Let me know in the comments if there's a more popular wizard in any at all. Literature, media. Is there a more popular wizard than Gandalf? And so I look at that and I see a card here that's like, fine. It's fine. Doesn't excite me. Doesn't offend me. It's just a fine take on Gandalf the Grey. Flavorful. That's a win on that. I don't know about the colors. Blue, red. Does Gandalf the Grey really fit into that color pie, or were they just like, wizard? Wizards, or is it? Let's go. Is it wizards? So maybe it's a little lackluster on that front. But you also have to imagine that Gandalf the White is going to be a card. And so maybe this is just a Gandalf. You know, if we looked at all of the different versions of Urza or Mishra we got in Brothers War, some of those were like, fine. Some of them were uncommon. Then you get up into the rares and mythics and you're like, all right, this is what I'm looking for. And so I feel like Gandalf the Grey, number one at rare, says we're getting another Gandalf in this set. And that Gandalf is going to be bonkers. We'll see. But at rare, Gandalf, it's fine. It doesn't really excite me. It doesn't really get my juices flowing from a construction standpoint. But we did see a nice new frame here. I kind of like this. Wish it was a little more open, a little more transparent for me. I'm not 100% in on like the portal and everything's being blocked off around it. But I do like it. It's very flavorful, looks nice. I think that this will be cool, especially in different color cards. Getting this showcase frame on here, I think it's a pretty cool take. We did see one other thing that I want to look at real fast, which is the full art basic land cycle. Now, we are well past the years of full art lands getting us excited. However, full art basics that have the map of Lord of the Rings on them, now that's a different story. This I like. This is very cool. I think that all of these are beautiful. I'm a big fan of maps. It's going to sound weird, but I'm a big fan of maps in fantasy. Really does a lot to bring you in to the lore of the story. I remember as a kid, any book that had a map at the front, I'd lose hours just looking at that before I even got into the book. Or as I'm reading, I'm referencing that map the entire time. Where are they now? Where are they now? Where are they now? Huge part of the lore for me. Always excellent. Huge flavor win here. And so I am very in favor of these full art basics that have the Lord of the Rings map on them. My only note about these is that, doesn't this one look beautiful? I'm glad that we looked at this one last, because doesn't this one this is just chef's kiss. Perfection. Now, what do you think my problem is with this one? My problem with this one is that it's a mountain, but the whole damn thing is green. Couldn't we have tinted this red just a little bit? Can I just make one little nitpick note that we should have tinted this red? Like this one. Swamp. I like this one. Mostly black. Got Mount Doom on there. Feel like we could have like maybe gone a little bit more to the right on the map and made it almost entirely swamp. Black. Got the Black Gate up there in Mount Doom. Barad-dûr up there. And then Island. This one's not bad. Little too much green on here, but mostly it's blue. I think you could up that saturation a little bit on the blue. But in general, I like this a lot. I think that these in foil, if they don't bend, will be a card that people really want. And in general, I think that this is going to do a really nice job of making the set feel very comprehensive from a lore standpoint. We got some art for Gandalf here. We also got some art for Gandalf here. I think this is a different Gandalf than we're going to see of the version that we already got. Right? This is Friend of the Shire, I think. And so we'll have maybe a green Gandalf, maybe a green and red Gandalf, a little blue thrown in there. I don't know. We'll see. That's speculation. But overall, really excited about the One Ring. I think that I'm more excited about this card than most people are. And I can't wait to see whatever is like the hottest treatment of this card. Because you know there's going to be some super special showcase, invisible, hovering, actually turns you evil version. And that's the one that I want. We're going to be live tomorrow. If you're watching this on Monday the 13th, had to check my calendar. We're going to be live tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th, for the full reveal of this set. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and come hang out and watch the new Lord of the Rings cards get spoiled live. Other than that, catch you later.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.